Vote-getter.
Vote-getter.
Pfeiffer was the top vote-getter in last year's election.
Vote of censure.
Vote of censure.
Vote of confidence.
Vote of confidence.
On April the 19th, the new government won a vote of confidence by 339 votes to 207.
The new investments are widely seen as a vote of confidence in the nation's economic future.
Vote of no confidence.
On April 22nd, the National Assembly passed a vote of no confidence in the government.
Vote of thanks.
Vote of thanks.
Voter.
Voter.
Voters overwhelmingly rejected the far right in the May elections.
In Ireland, 83% of voters favoured EC membership in 1972.
Tory voters.
Voter apathy is especially high among young people.
Voting booth.
Voting booth.
Voting machine.
Voting machine.
Votive.
Votive.
Votive offerings.
Vouch.
Vouch.
I'll vouch for the quality of the report.
Where were you on the night of the murder? In bed, with flu. My wife can vouch for that.
Why don't you phone my office? They'll vouch for me. Voucher.
Voucher.
The voucher can be used at most major supermarkets.
First prize is a £1,000 travel voucher.
Vouchsafe.
Vouchsafe.
Vow.
Vow.
Jim made a vow that he would find his wife's killer.
A monk who had taken a vow of poverty.
Supporters have vowed to continue the protest until Adams is released.
I vowed that I would never drink again. Vowel.
Vowel.
Vox pop.
Vox pop.
Voyage.
Voyage.
The voyage from England to India used to take 6 months.
The Titanic's maiden voyage.
I don't want to make the voyage single-handed.
These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise.
Writing a biography is an absorbing voyage of discovery.
A voyage of self-discovery.
Voyager.
Voyager.
Voyeur.
Voyeur.
VP.
VP.
V-sign.
V-sign.
I gave the driver a V sign.
VSO.
VSO.
Vulcanize.
Vulcanize.
Vulgar.
Vulgar.
Vulgar behavior.
A vulgar check suit.
Vulgar fraction.
Vulgar fraction.
Vulgarity.
Vulgarity.
Vulgarize.
Vulgarize.
Vulgate.
Vulgate.
Vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
He took advantage of me when I was at my most vulnerable.
We work mainly with the elderly and other vulnerable groups.
Children are most vulnerable to abuse within their own home. The fort was vulnerable to attack from the north. Their theories were badly thought out and very vulnerable to ridicule.
Vulpine.
Vulpine.
Vulture.
Vulture.
He hadn't been dead 5 minutes before those vultures from the media were after his widow. He hadn't been dead 5 minutes before those vultures from the media were after his widow.
Vulva.
Vulva.
Vuvuzela. Vuvuzela.
Vying.
Vying.
W.
W.
Wacko.
Wacko.
That guy's completely wacko.
Wacky.
Wacky.
A wonderfully wacky idea.
Vaduz.
Vaduz.
Wadding.
Wadding.
Waddle.
Waddle.
Half a dozen ducks waddled up the bank.
Wade.
Wade.
I wish you wouldn't always wade in with your opinion.
The police waded into the crowd, swinging sticks.
Each day, Parkin wades through lengthy court reports.
Wader.
Wader. Waddy.
Wadi.
Wading pool.
Wading pool.
Wafer.
Wafer.
Wafers of silicon.
Wafer thin.
Wafer thin.
Wafer thin chocolates.
Waffle.
Stop waffling and get to the point.
Cannot continue to waffle on this issue.
Waffle iron.
Waffle iron.
Waft.
Waft.
Cooking smells wafted up from downstairs.
The sound of laughter wafted through the open window.
Wag.
Wag. Are wags good role models for girls?
You naughty girl, Mum said, wagging her finger at me.
Some wag had drawn a face on the wall.
Wage.
Wage.
He earns a good wage.
The wage increases will come into effect in June.
A weekly wage of $250.
The church no longer paid a living wage. The police are waging war on drug pushers in the city.
The council has waged a vigorous campaign against the proposal.
Waged.
Waged.
Wage earner.
Wage earner.
Both wage earners and salaried officials were protected by the new regulations.
Wage packet.
Wage packet. Wager. Wager.
Stipes wagered all his money on an unknown horse.
Waggish.
Waggish.
Waggle.
Waggle.
Can you waggle your ears?
Wagon.
Wagon.
Wagon train.
Wagon train.
Wagtail.
Wagtail.
Waif.
Waif.
She loved cats and would take any waifs and strays into her home.
Waif-like.
Waif-like.
Images of waif-like models in girls' magazines.
Wail.
Whale.
But what shall I do? Bernard wailed.
Somewhere behind them, a child began to wail.
The wind wailed in the chimney. The wail of police sirens.
Wainscot.
Wainscot.
Waist.
Waist.
The skirt was too big around the waist.
Lota was paralysed from the waist down.
Waistband.
Waistband.
Waistcoat.
Waistcoat.
Waist deep.
Waist deep.
Standing waist deep in water.
Waist high.
Waist high.
Waist high grass.
Waistline.
Waistline.
A trim waistline.
Wait.
Wait.
Hurry up. Everyone's waiting.
Would you mind waiting outside?
A queue of people waiting for a bus.
Wait for me. She paused, waiting for Miles to say something. I sat waiting patiently for the wedding to end. I'll wait till you come back. Can you wait for 5 minutes?
We've been waiting ages. Are you waiting to use the phone?
I'm sorry to have kept you waiting.
Have you heard about the job? No, I'm still waiting.
I'm still waiting for my results.
I'm waiting for him to realize how stupid he's been.
Wait a second. I'll get my coat and come with you.
Wait a moment. Just let me think.
Wait a minute. That's not what we agreed.
Wait a minute, I've got a better idea.
We're going to Australia on Saturday. I can't wait.
I can't wait to tell Gloria the good news. Laura could hardly wait to see the twins again.
I can't wait for the summer.
A lecture on transformational grammar? I can hardly wait. Go home. The report can wait till tomorrow.
What's for dinner? Wait and see. We will just have to wait and see how things develop.
Wait till you see Gabby's new house.
There'll be a rental car waiting for you at the airport.
Come round at 8 and I'll have dinner waiting.
I've got 2 hands, and there are 3 of you, so you'll have to wait your turn.
Their new album was worth waiting for.
I'll get you back for what you've done. Just you wait. It'll be a huge success. Just you wait.
Well, what are you waiting for? Go and apologize.
What are we waiting for? Let's go eat.
His name was, wait for it, Mr. Bacon.
Other firms are waiting in the wings, ready to step in and make an offer should the current deal fall through.
I spent the summer waiting tables.
Movie making involves acting for 10 minutes and then waiting around for 2 hours.
We'd better be going. We can't wait about like this any longer.
She waited behind to help Debbie with the clearing up.
I have to wait in for the repairman.
We're waiting on the blood test results.
His wife waits on him hand and foot.
Let's find a place where we can wait out the storm.
Don't wait up for me. I may be late.
Wait up, he called.
The average wait for an appointment at the clinic was 8 weeks.
There was an hour wait before the next train departed.
They'll have a long wait.
Waiter.
Waiter.
Waiting list.
Waiting list.
There is still a 3-month waiting list for the cars.
I was then put on a waiting list to see a specialist at the local hospital.
Waiting room.
Waiting room.
Wait list.
Wait list.
Waitress.
Waitress.
Waitron. Waitron.
Wave.
Wave.
She waved her right to a lawyer.
Waver.
Waver.
Wake.
Wake.
When she woke, the sun was streaming through the windows.
Try not to wake the baby.
Nancy woke to the sound of birds outside her window.
James usually wakes up early.
I'll wake you up when it's time to leave.
Wake up at the back there.
It's time you woke up to the fact that it's a tough world.
Famine followed in the wake of the drought.
The car left clouds of dust in its wake.
Wakeboard. Wakeboard.
Wakeful.
Wakeful.
She lay wakeful in her room for most of the night. Waken.
Waken.
She gently wakened the sleeping child.
Wake-up call.
Wake-up call.
The success of extremist groups in the elections should be a wake-up call to all decent citizens.
Wakey wakey.
Wakey wakey.
Waking.
Waking.
His face haunted her every waking moment.
Walk.
Walk.
How did you get here? We walked.
Doctors said he'd never walk again.
Carrie walked into the room and sat down in her chair. He loved walking in the hills.
We must have walked 10 miles today.
I walked all the way to San Rafael.
There are plenty of bars and restaurants within walking distance of the hotel.
It's late. I'll walk you home.
Schools are urging parents to walk their children to school. She walked me to the front gate. Grandma's out walking the dog.
My pen seems to have walked.
Ferguson walked free after the charges were dropped.
If more evidence isn't found, Harris will walk.
If the last bus has gone, we'll have to walk it.
It was not safe to walk the streets at night.
People are motivated by leaders who actually walk the walk.
You can't just walk away from 15 years of marriage.
When the business started to have problems, it was very tempting to walk away.
Miraculously, both drivers walked away without a scratch.
And the lucky winner will walk away with a prize of £10,000.
Zeke wasn't looking and walked straight into a tree.
He was fairly certain now that he was walking into a trap and wished he'd come armed.
I walked right into a mob of maybe 50 young white guys.
You can't expect to walk straight into a job.
You walked right into that one.
Don't just walk off when I'm trying to talk to you.
Let's go out. Maybe I can walk this headache off.
Without new contracts, mine workers will walk off their jobs Thursday.
Lottery winners can walk off with a cool £18 million.
Thieves walked off with $2 million worth of jewellery.
The play was awful and we walked out after half an hour.
The issue that led to the U.S. walking out of the trade talks this week.
Her husband walked out, leaving her with 3 children to look after. 5 years later, she walked out on Matthew and their 2 boys.
We're so short-staffed, I can't just walk out. If you can afford to walk out of your job, why not?
Workers are threatening to walk out if an agreement is not reached.
I never walk out on a deal, Dee said.
It's terrible. She lets her kids just walk all over her.
It's a long walk. Maybe we should get the bus.
A walk through the castle grounds.
He says he's going on a long walk tomorrow.
Have you ever done the 3 Peaks walk?
There is a stunning 10-mile coastal walk from St Andrews to Crail.
Let's all go on the beach walk.
The local tourist office organises a number of guided walks. You can often recognise people by their walk.
Breathless, she slowed to a walk.